A lot of people are on the streets right now. They're protesting. A lot of them are young people all over the world. There's a lot of the young population. What do you think is going through their minds, their hearts, their understanding, their knowledge? Do you think people are even aware of the driving forces that are driving them to the streets? In many cases, it seems like typically people are rioting or protesting against the government, their governments, in wherever they are. What do you think that is going through people's minds, and what do you think what do you think is missing? What should be the address, and what should be the complaint?
Look, with young people, it's a bit of a drama. I'll tell you why. Because for the young, all these protests is always an adventure. We're young and rebellious. So for most of the young generation, I don't think there's a meaning behind the whole thing. But it's also good for them to go out and riot because at least it's a sign for them to say, like, we don't want to end up like our parents. I think
Okay.
um, the most dramatic class that's really having a hard time are probably the ones who entered their careers, who are in their mid ages or slightly above mid ages, who haven't retired yet, and they're thinking, well, what's going to happen now? So the young ones are always a bit more, I don't know, for them it's always a more like a party kind of thing, but for the mid-age group, it's a real worry. And the thing that's lacking here is obviously direction and understanding, because they don't understand what's going on. All of a sudden, because of virus, they don't know whether to blame China for it. They don't know whether to, I don't know, everybody's testosterone is hitting the limits right now with their. If you look at the world with all the military and everything that's happening, and on the other hand, natural disasters are suppressing everybody's testosterone. It's this real amazing balance you can see in the whole world. On the one hand, there's a lot of military aggression. On the other hand, society, the coronavirus, natural disasters are really suppressing it. So there's lack of vision, there's lack of understanding of where we're going. So everybody's out there on the streets for some kind of problem where they feel they're unhappy with. But I don't think it's an accumulation of a common unhappiness at this moment. There's a common there's a common confusion, and it lacks clarity. So everybody's out
Hmm.
there on the street, throwing away their stresses, but there's no direction, there's no understanding as to the cause of things. So this is our major problem. If we had some direction, people would be willing to listen, understand, make some kind of plan, make some kind of sense out of it.
So
So it's
so
And
yeah,
and the biggest problem is as well, the leaders don't have the slightest clue.
right.
And this is the real sick thing, because the people the people at the end of the day, they're like sheep. They need someone to look up to. And they look at the government, and the government has no clue about what's going on or what they're going to do about things, except trying to go back into the past. It's like a kid's story. Imagine telling your children, "Oh, we're going to go back in time." I mean, how stupid is that?